When it comes to young people, it's all too often that we see initiatives offering ambulances at the bottom of the cliffs. Today, we're here at Zeal Kāpiti to meet a man who's been building resilient pathways for hundreds of young coasters for well over a decade. It is my honour and pleasure to introduce the legendary Terry Poko. You have been deeply influential in many people's lives on the coast. You've been a mentor, a role model, and a friend in many respects. But we'll talk about the youth that you've worked with for many years a little bit later on in the interview. But for now, I really want to know, who is Terry Poko?
Well, to be honest, Gav, I'm a family man first. They mean so much to me, and we made a lot of sacrifices to get here. I've been blessed with 4 adult kids, 3 girls and my young fella, he's 23. And we've also been blessed with 5 muggles. So blessed to have so family first. The environment I'm normally around, that's normally our key phrase, family first.
Fantastic. And where did life start for you?
Well, I grew up in South Auckland for about 30 years in a little place called Otara.
Yep.
And as it worked out, we, to be honest, probably didn't really want to move to Kāpiti. My brother-in-law had left the police and was starting a youth program, Paul Fong, and he invited me. And to be honest, for a few months, I just thought, nah, that's not me. I don't want to do that. Mm. But long story short, we made a decision. Let's just do it. Let's just take the leap.
And that organisation was Youth Quest?
Youth Quest, yeah. So 2007, we moved down here, sold everything we owned in Otara, moved my family down, and yeah, started the journey with Youth Quest.
Fantastic. Mm. And you were at Youth Quest for how many years?
10 years.
Okay, 10 years. Mm. So you would have seen many people come through the program. Can you explain a little bit what the Youth Quest program was about and
Sure.
what did it do?
A lot of the young men and was mainly men that we dealt with, they were coming through the court system, or there were a lot of young people, or young men, in colleges that were just not making it and getting in a lot of trouble. So they were just on the cusp of getting in trouble with the police. There was some involvement, there was a lot of breakdown with whānau. Mm. So our role was to mentor those young men, put them through a program. It started off with a 6-week program, and then we just kind of worked out, I think we need to do this a little bit longer than just 6 weeks. So the program went for longer. We worked with families, worked with schools, police. Made a lot of connections here in Kāpiti. But the main focus was to give these young people a little bit of hope, because for a lot of them, that was their road. That's where they were going to go. They were going to end up in jail.
Sure.
So our goal was to try and change that direction. And to be honest, we saw a lot of young men make some really good changes. Mm. Amazing.
Some of your numbers were pretty impressive as far as non-recidivism is concerned. Are you able to do you remember the numbers that you were dealing with?
Not. When I last did it, was about 90% of the young people who are now not getting in much trouble.
Yeah.
So
fantastic.
Great turnaround.
Totally. Mm. And another quote from an interview that I watched was that you had stated that these kids were getting shouted at a lot. So there's always a political discussion around boot camps and, tough sort of way of, that military sort of focus around dealing with this. You had a different change of focus with exactly that these boys were getting shouted at home. So you took a much more gentle approach through.
We sure did. We kind of worked out that the shouting and stuff didn't really work. I mean, giving these young men actually some more information on what we're doing, what we're planning. So if we went to bush, for example, we're going to walk to the beach today. So just letting them know this is what we're doing, as opposed to get your bags up or do whatever. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Were there anybody that influenced you in your journey from Aotearoa to here around how you approached your work at that stage?
To be honest, my granddad has had the hugest influence on me on how I just watched them, and I guess that's where I grasped a lot of who I am, is I watched them do a lot of giving, a lot of, it was incredible. I've spent more time with my granddad than I did with my own father, but I just watched how he was kind, humble in a lot of ways. And when I was watching, I was thinking, hey, I wouldn't mind being like that one day. So a lot of who I am today has come from my granddad, and I guess that's what I'm trying to pass on to these young men.
Nice. That's really good. So in recent months, in fact, actually, probably in the last 18 months, I've certainly followed you online. You've been on a very specific fitness journey throughout your last few months. Can you tell me about that and what that influence and whether that has influenced your life in any way?
Oh, hugely, to be honest. It's been a couple of years now that I just decided, you know what, if I'm going to have an influence on our boys or young people, then I've got to look after me first. And that's where I went to, is we went down this health journey, and it's just been a game changer, to be honest. Me and my wife do non-negotiables, we call them. So we go to gym first thing in the morning, then we go for a walk, and then we just talk about life, whānau, work, and then we stop for a coffee at Streetwise.
Got right.
Yeah.
You know, we've got to support locals.
Yes. And then we make our way home, and then, we're good.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what it has had an influence on is the people we hang around with. So they've seen our journey, and they've started to make changes.
Fantastic.
In their own lives. So it's been awesome.
Fantastic. And rugby, as you've mentioned earlier, has been an important part of your life. Your team is?
Kāpiti Rugby League Club.
Yeah, fantastic.
I started playing in Otara first, and I tell you what, that's why rugby league means a lot to me, because I was just as much as a troublesome young man, just like the boys I was mentoring, and I ended up at the Rugby League Club. That's where everything kind of shifted. I met my wife there. I managed to play some football for about 10 years at top level. Played at Kāro Park, just the old Field of Dreams, they used to call it, before everything moved to Mount Smart, where the Warriors are playing.
Yeah, fantastic.
So I think if it wasn't for league, then I'd probably be, who knows.
It's really important, isn't it, the influence that sport has had on your life.
That's right.
And keeping you on track to be able to influence others to stay on track too.
Yeah.
Really important.
Yeah.
So we've talked a little bit about Youth Quest. It came to an unfortunate end. What was the problem there?
Well, the funding dried up. They wanted us, because we were working with at-risk boys or young men. They wanted us to work with the kids that were doing well, which was kind of shifted the post a little bit. And funding wasn't available for the young people we were working with. We went into liquidation and all that. But
this is it seems a little bit, it's all too often that we see initiatives that are ambulances at the bottom of the cliff rather than the preventative stuff. And certainly from the little bit that I saw from you guys in Youth Quest, it was a fantastic situation where you were literally stopping these boys from going down wayward routes. And so it was a terrible shame to see Youth Quest come to an end.
It was. And it wasn't evident at the time when we were working with the young men. But years down the track, we've now seen the huge benefits. These young men are owning their own businesses, building their own homes. I mean, one of the boys stays next door to me in Otaki. He's built his house from the ground up. He built me a new fence, but I've had young men that have come through the program support us in the sporting arena, so they've helped sponsor our teams to go to tag nationals.
Incredible.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
They're all good dads, raising good families.
Yeah, fantastic.
So it's like,
yeah,
wow,
yeah.
easy.
So at the time you were working with Darcy Hata,
Yes.
Do you reminisce between the two of you about the results that you did achieve at the time, and is there opportunity for you to either reinvent that in a different format, or will you be able to continue that work in Zeal?
Well, Darcy and I have for a long time, been really good mates.
Yeah.
I've just seen him on Saturday at the Waikana Rugby Club. Hey, there's always doors.
Yeah.
There's always opportunities to do what we were doing
For
here.
sure.
But
yeah. Now you've got an important task ahead of you. So.
Yeah, we do too.
Absolutely. So again, the discussion with yourself and Darcy, you moved from Youth Quest over to KYS. What was your role at KYS?
Our main role when we initially worked there were with the younger kids. We started a program called, here we go, just lost it there. But we worked with 10 to 12-year-olds first, and helping them in the primary schools.
Was that an important intervention at that age?
Yes, which is why I think that's where we went down that track, because when we were talking with each other anyway, with me and Das, we were saying if we can make a difference earlier in the piece, then when the kids get to around 14, 16s, at least we've had some influence on there. So the program was called He Kākono, by the way. And the reason we called that He Kākono, because we were kind of describing a seed that would grow. And that's all we were thinking about, the young men that we were working with on that program. So we started off there, and then Darcy and I moved into Stepping Stones program, which we now started to deal with the kids in the college.
Fantastic. Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit more about Zeal and the programs that you run here?
At the moment, we are running barista programs. We do a hip hop program on the weekend. We were doing the photography course, but no longer doing that one. What else are we doing?
What's the purpose of it? What is your kaupapa?
For Zeal?
Yep.
Just to create a safe space for these young people, giving them some experience, whether that's in the hip hop space or in the barista space. We've just started a program that I'm leading, which is a fitness program in Kāpiti College. We meet every Monday, and we're going through that at the moment. What's been really cool is doing tag activations in the primary schools.
Okay.
So that's a new program that we've added to here at Zeal.
Yeah, and is it for everybody?
It sure is.
You've been here for 5 months, and so it might be a little bit early for you yet, but have you seen people migrate through the programs and come out the other side, and is it a successful outcome for these guys?
It sure is. Been lucky enough to see a lot of young people come through. The hip hop program last year, they had a couple of showcases, which was so good to go along and watch these young people perform for their parents. It was unbelievable.
So, what are the challenges for youth on the Kāpiti Coast?
The young people who have gang affiliation backgrounds, or actually a lot of these ones have been brought up by single mums, and just trying to find their place and trying to fit in. They're really struggling to kind of engage. So seeing that come through the system has been.
You've been very vocal in that in the past around male role models in broken families. Do you believe that you are able to fill a void in young people's lives in the roles that you've had?
I have. I've been lucky. I've been fortunate enough to do that. My approach is always just keeping it real and letting the young people know this is where things roll.
I remember a rousing haka that the course of Youth Quest had done many years ago, and each and every course had their own haka. Has Māori culture been influential in the work that you do, and are you able to translate that into better outcomes for young people?
Sure has. It's had a huge influence on Korodon is who we approached when we went in together haka. So we asked the boys, or the young men, what was their one thing that they wanted to kind of put out there through a haka, and it was a lack of dads. So for them, they wanted to do a haka, so which is why we came up with Kei Hea Te Mātua. So where are the fathers? And that was their voice. I mean, a lot of these young men said dad would pop around, give them money, and then just leave. So they were looking for role models. We were helping them in that space, but it was such a cool time, man. It was. Yeah.
Do you think that New Zealand generally is getting better at helping vulnerable youth, or worse?
Probably worse.
Is it all about funding? Is it all about people? What's the core? If you could wave a wand and fix this issue today, how would you fix it?
Probably through more funding, to be honest, and then providing a service for young people, whether on the coast or anywhere in New Zealand, to give them some spaces to grow, to nurture, to be great young people. Yeah.
We're in an organisation within Zeal who I think is partially funded by Kāpiti Coast District Council.
Yep.
Is it money well spent?
Sure is. Yeah. It's because I'm only new on the space. I'm starting to work out how things roll here. But it's definitely money well spent. And in the time I've been here, to be honest, because we have a, after school program space. It was a little bit hard for me, because they'll just roll in, use a space and then leave. Whereas previously in mahi I've been doing, it's been quite personal. So there's a lot of one-to-one, a lot of mentoring. And to be honest, that's what I'm trying to do here.
Yep.
I'm trying to bring that back into the space, which is why I've started the fitness program. Gives you more time to be one-on-one with these young people, creating a mentoring space and looking at maybe some mentoring programs. But definitely, I love the space. The events has been awesome.
Because you take Zeal out into the community, and
We sure
and largely it's performance based. So
yeah.
music and entertainment for the masses.
Yes, we just finished Otaki Kite
Kite Festival. Yep.
So we had a couple of young people help me in that space who were previous young people here at Zeal, and that was so good. We did a basketball tournament not long ago, so I got together a young group of young people to help me manage that. So what I'm trying to do is just teach them how to run events.
Yeah, sure.
I've been doing it like forever.
Sure, and that's the importance of the sort of underpinning philosophy of Zeal, and that's the ability not just a space. It's how you develop, opportunities for young people learning and business development, and the barista course, as you said before. So there's more to Zeal than just a space, right?
That's right.
Yeah. And we're sitting within a jamming room as it stands at the moment, so they get an opportunity to come in and have that space that's, they're not getting kicked out of their front room or anything like that. It's their space, and they can
They sure do.
they can come and play for as long as they like.
Yeah, and they'll come up here and hang and
Yeah.
just do whatever they do.
Yeah,
And some of them, they come up here are really awesome, Gav.
Yeah. Yeah.
You listen to them. I mean, there was a girl on the drums the other day. Holy.
And is there opportunity for those pathways to open from Zeal if you've got people that are genuinely talented?
Mm-hmm.
How do you encourage them to move forward down pathways, or how do you create those pathways for them?
Well, at the moment, we're using Musicians Lounge as a way for them to showcase their skills.
Yep.
We do that once a month. So they will come in and perform in front of their parents, and that's a good space. We're starting to talk to the colleges more around bands and stuff like that. There was a discussion with the young people around maybe doing a talent quest here. So there could be a door that could open up to other young artists. Yeah.
It's sure. We talked earlier on about the location of Zeal. It literally is right next to Pack and Save, where many people come do their shopping on a regular basis. Is there any opportunity for you to showcase what Zeal is to those thousands of people that come and go on a regular basis? You know, I think we're all a little bit guilty of knowing it's here, but we don't really know what goes on in here. Is there opportunity for those people who don't know what Zeal is to come and see what they do?
Sure, they sure do. And I'm the same. I used to drive past here a lot of the time thinking, what the hell are those guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
But definitely the doors are open. If people or our community wants to see what we do here, they're more than welcome.
Yeah,
come
fantastic.
and see what we do here at Zeal.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you the very best of luck in your endeavours here. We couldn't have asked for a better community leader to take over this space, and we wish you the best of luck for the outcomes and some future talent to be encouraged out of Zeal Kāpiti with an incredible mentor and role model in yourself. So before we wrap up the interview, and it's been an absolute privilege to talk to you, thank you. Really great to get those insights from all of that experience. But before we wrap it up, we're going to have a little local product test, which we're going to do in all of the podcasts. So we've been fortunate enough to land on the Kāpiti Candy Company. So we've got 2 to try. We've got Manuka honey toasted marshmallows and choc coated raspberry marshmallow. So we're going to get into it, and you can open that one. I'll open this one, and we'll swap. And we'll have a bit of a taste test.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if this quite fits with the whole fitness test, but I think we can have a little moment out. I'm not really doing that great on the fitness tip. So, cheers.
Okay. That's real good.
That's real good. So, the Kāpiti Candy Company, Otaki based.
Oh.
Get into it.
Yeah, man.
There we go. Thank you again.
Thank you.
If you've enjoyed today's podcast, don't forget to like, share and follow for future stories from No Kāpiti.